Am I doing this right? Okay, it's been a while since I went live. Let me see. Is this broadcasting? Is this happening? Okay, it's real. Squee! Hello! This is my first live stream in months, and every time I take a break from going live on YouTube, I freaking forget how to do it the next time. Like if I take too long of a break, it's just the muscle memory of how to do it. There's like a million different ways. You could use whatever, River View or River something, Riverside. I don't know. Anyway, I like Ecamm because this is super cute. So anyway, hey, yes, Melissa, there'll be a replay. That's the beauty of going live on YouTube. It lives on YouTube. So if you have questions, you want to talk about the signature course model, I actually really want to know before you go, were you triggered by my thread or by my thoughts that maybe this signature course model is dead? I'm curious. Hey, Diane. Hi, Tori. Nice to see you guys. Okay. So I think that I did the thing right, which is like, hi, such a blessing. Because Ecamm is a confusing software, but I think I got it right. So that being said, I'm just going to get my little screens in order here, and then we'll get in there and start with the material. Oh, where is everything? I hate when this happens. Oh, there's like a bundle of nerves. So, been online for a long time. This is my, I don't know how manyth live stream, and I still get nervous every time because I just want to do right by y'all, and I hate to screw up the tech because I'm a tech girly, even though I'm truly not a YouTube person, like by nature. Anyway. Okay, this is the first of my series, Snackable Offers to Six Figures. Let's talk about why this started. So I have never been a signature course kind of girl. I have built a lot of those for clients. I've built signature programs for client funnels, funnels that lead into signature program. Like I get it. It's a thing, and it's what Marie B and Marie F and Amy P and blah, 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 blah. Am I getting those names right? I never bought any of those courses, but I know that they're popular. We're teaching, get dialed in on your expertise, and then create a signature program. And then you get to ride that, for the rest of, in perpetuity. And so I posted something about this on Threads. I'm trying really quick to pull up the thread because I'm a dodo and didn't have it like loaded. So I posted this thread yesterday. And all I said was the model, like the model kind of gives me the ick because it's basically, you have to talk about that signature course for forever. You build it once, you spend all this time, creating the audience and building your audience. And then you build this course before you've ever sold it, and then you promote the crap out of it, and then as soon as it closes, you close the doors. A couple, maybe a month or two goes by, and then you do the whole thing all over again. That model, the signature course model, it's not my thing. I just, as a creative, as a person who loves to be inspired and follow that inspiration, and the inspiration is profitable, it's a really hard concept for me. All I said on Threads was that it gives me the ick. Lots of people liked and followed from that post, but they're not the ones that commented. The people who commented were the ones who were triggered, felt like called out. Yes, as Diane says in the comments, Amy Porterfield and Marie Forleo, thank you. Yes, that was their shtick, right? Really promoted that signature course, and they had a signature course, and they sold the heck out of it. Respect to them. I'm not saying it's not a profitable way to operate in 2020 and 2021. I just think that the market has evolved, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Essentially, all I said was this model gives me the ick, and that I'm not built for promoting the same thing over and over again. And then so many people slid into the comments and just wanted to kind of fight me on it, and like wanted to throw the receipts at me from 2021, or wanted to say how, like a genius it is, or whatever. And I was like, oh, we should go live about this, because I'm not in the mood to duke it out on Threads. Like, I want to keep it friendly. I also know that this post was resonating with the people it was meant to resonate with, and that they were following and liking and, kind of getting into my world because of it. So I was just like, I don't want to embarrass myself. But this live stream is really about what I think the next wave is, because yes, that signature course model was effective in 2020, but I don't think that it's as effective now. And I also don't think that it's for everyone. I think that, yes, you can get creative and iterate angles and stuff for forever, but still that just feels boring, and it's got to be boring for your audience. Now, I have been on people's lists where they yapped on about the same program. They have been launching it for 4 or 5 years. And if I didn't join then, like, I know, like, maybe somebody, someday I'll join later. It gets boring. I would love to hear something else from you. I'd love to hear where you're innovating and not just iterating. There is a difference. And if your brain is an innovator, if you're an explorer, if you're a creative, the signature course model is not the vibe. So all that to say, I pissed some people off, created this series, and the first one is the spiciest probably iteration of it, is that this model is no longer effective. If maybe it was effective in 2019, but I also just think it's kind of dead and it's also really hard to do. So all that being said, I, as a funnel builder, have built this for clients. And I have watched them go through the arduous exercise that is a launch. And then at the end, it's like, okay, we wrap, we count our coins, we celebrate. And then it's like, great, let's go right back into it. And we repurpose every single email. And then we, it just gets tiring to do it again and again and again, especially when you feel like your peers are innovating and you want to innovate. You want to explore new things. I was working with a client who had a signature program, and she wanted to create a TikTok, course specific for that niche. And her coach was like, no, stay in your lane. No. I was like, oh, okay. So we're not doing that. And imagine if she had done that in 2020 when TikTok was really starting to take off, But anyway, I wasn't her coach. I just implemented. And so we didn't do that. But I will also say that I am not infallible. I used to be a Pinterest manager. And when I knew that I was ready to move on, which I'll be blunt, was like super quick, I moved on to funnels like almost immediately within 6 months, because funnels are problem solving and I loved the marketing angle of it, and Pinterest was repetition and like designing Canva pins and writing Canva, writing pin descriptions and posting and scheduling. It just got too repetitive for me. Again, the creative brain, not meant for that. So problem solving in funnels, definitely more my jam. So I had built this audience by speaking at summits and all that stuff, and by sharing my freebie on Pinterest, Meta, that was very Pinterest focused, and I wanted to pivot out of it into funnels. So I had this brilliant idea that I'll create a signature course, because that's what all the gurus were yapping about. It didn't go the way I expected. It sold well. I had, 50, 60 people enroll. It was great, but it meant that I had to keep talking about it forever. As soon as I stopped talking about it, sales evaporated. I also had to maintain it forever, even though I didn't want to talk about it anymore. The joy, the dopamine, the serotonin, the whatever, the chemical, the interest in it, poof, evaporated. And then it just was filled with dread. And I just knew, okay, this isn't the model for me, even though this is literally what everybody else is doing, not my thing. So the very next thing that I created, and what I think is really replacing it, is what I call snackable offers. I don't know about y'all, but I never wanted to buy and never will buy the ultimate guide to Instagram marketing. There are people out there who sell $2,000 courses about Instagram marketing, but I won't buy them. I think I have undiagnosed ADHD. It's too hard for me to tuck into a ginormous program and stick with it for like 8, 6, 10, 12 months. Like, that's never going to happen. What I buy is quick implementable things, workshops, live trainings, templates, guides, that sort of thing. And I noticed that when I participated in bundles, because I hosted this big bundle in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And what was most downloaded, what people wanted, were those quick bites, quick wins, all that sort of thing. So Diane is mentioning in the comments, things constantly change. And so the beauty of a snackable offer, those quick wins, is that they're laser focused, and that you can you can create what is innovative and in the moment without being stuck to, well, I'm really excited about Claude Skills right now, but I can't talk about it because I'm locked into my signature course model, which is about growing dahlias or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm a gardener, so all my examples are going to be either food or gardening. So it's like, oh, that's really cool. I wish I could do this, or I could create a Claude Skills for gardeners or for dahlia farmers. But no, I have a signature course. I'm doing this month-long ramp up to my promo, and I just can't. So I knew that creativity kind of felt like shackles, wasn't going to work for me. And I loved this snackable offers thing. Of course, I didn't know it was a snackable offer until I started creating them. What's really funny, and probably the most tragic thing, and I don't know if I've ever admitted this online, but it's my signature Pinterest course. I built it, yes, as a way to pivot out of that niche, but also I had created, out of boredom and innovation of writing pin descriptions, I had created this pin copy generator, like the little pin description, the actual SEO part that gets your pin found. I had created this sort of tool as a service provider to help me in my business because I was bored and I wanted it done faster. And I wanted to sell that as a digital product, but no one was talking about snackable offers. They were talking about signature programs or $27 jam-packed, over-delivering courses that you ran ads to, the SLO funnel. No one was talking about snackable offers. No one. So instead of selling my little, pin copy generators, I built a whole course. Oh, I'm outing myself. I built a whole signature program around it and instead sold the program, and the bonus was my pin copy generator, when all along I should have just sold the snackable offer, the tool, the resource, the quick win, the quick fix. I should have sold that because that was really the gas that was powering that signature offer launch and would have been just a better fit for me overall. But anyway, oh, hi Zoe. Yes, you remember when I put out that program and it was like, but the bonus is this, and everyone was buying it for the bonus. Oh my God, as a marketer, I'm really embarrassed to admit that, but it was 2019 and I was a baby marketer. It's okay. Bless and release. She did her very best. So this whole concept of snackable offers, it's not just based on what I want to create, which is actionable, implementable in an afternoon, but it's also based on what people want to buy and what will they actually implement. Because the other side of this signature course program is if you sell self-study and people buy it and it's massive and it's like 29 modules and 32, 4 lessons per module, and it's just a lot, no one's going to finish it. How are they going to get results? How are they going to get testimonials? How are they going to do the thing that you are promising to help them do if it's too freaking big for them to ever finish? So this angle of the snackable offer is something that I have been impelled to do since the beginning. And I really just named this this year, like the name. I have this tagline for all my offers, like get it set up and, get it done in an afternoon. And I do stand by that. And in fact, I do like implementations with people. We can do this in an afternoon, and in like 1 or 2 hours, we can actually do this. But I didn't really come to terms with this whole snackable offer thing. But anyway, I digress. That's the origin of the snackable offers. And what I have had people ask me is, can you make a living off of those? As a service provider, I was doing done for you work. Sidebar, I do still do done for you work. I did a course build last couple months ago. I do done for you pages. I do done for you affiliate programs. So I do still do some done for you work, but the majority of my income since 2022, so since January 1, 2022, so for the past 4 years, has been digital products. And the majority of it has been from these snackable offers that range from $9 to $197, the majority of them. And I have a really specific model for how I create and launch them. And yeah, not only have I made a living income, I've made multiple 6 figures every single year from it, but it allowed me to build a retirement, which I absolutely had nothing of, and to buy a home and do other things. So that, yes, it's definitely possible without ads, without a massive audience. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that because I know that is a big concern. Like, how does this actually turn into, how does selling a $9 thing or a $97 thing turn into me paying my rent? We'll get into that on April 16th. Sidebar, if you're not yet registered for the live training I'm doing on April 16th, it's how to get to 100 sales of every offer you create. There's a little QR code here on the live. You can scan it. And it's also, I forget the link. Y'all know, right? I'm gonna look it up. I've got it somewhere. I think it's like damaju.com/YT100-register. Oh, I suck for not knowing that. Anyway. Tori's saying, I have so many helpful tech tools, libraries. Yes, they're fuel to create those snacks. Exactly. So I have this other concept that I used to explain on podcasts when people would talk to me about funnels, like, why did you get into funnels? What really is a funnel? And this, they always sort of picture this 17 email deadline funnels, 9 different pages, elaborate evergreen funnel. A funnel really is just a path that you want people. It's a website with a path. I always described it as IKEA. When you go into IKEA, which I know is not in every country, but maybe you've seen it on TV, 500 Days of Summer in that movie or something like that. But it's a showroom that they force you to go. You have to walk this pre-designed path. There are literal arrows on the ground forcing you to go the way they want you to, because there's a whole story they're building to. They want you to see your bedrooms. They want you to sit and touch things and picture that in your house. And then they go through where you can start buying stuff, right? So that is how I've always described a funnel. A funnel is like IKEA. There's a path. Here's the way we want you to go. But somewhere along the lines, like I personally only have, I want to say, like 3 or 4 evergreen funnels. But I have a lot of offers. I have like 30 different training. Yes, Zoe is in Sweden, so I know it's a very strategic, this is the path, and these are the arrows, right? And so when I used to describe funnels, I would always talk about it like as this IKEA. However, as this sort of IKEA analogy of like, you're just guiding people the way we want them to go. However, the longer I've been in business, the more I've built this snackable offer ecosystem, the more I've realized I'm not building an IKEA. I don't create an evergreen funnel for every single one of my offers. But also when I stop yapping about them, or like, for example, I released this $9 on-brand fillable workbooks training that I created in like 2 days, kind of on a challenge from a program I was in. I've sent like 4 emails about it, and then I've never sent a dedicated email about it again. I've never done a promo for it. It's a $9 thing, and people still buy it. And what I realized is that I wasn't creating this sort of IKEA model where I'm forcing people to go this way. I created more of a Costco vibe. Now, I know Costco, again, is not in every country, but I had a very good hot dog with crispy fried onions at a Costco in Iceland. So I know it's in other countries. I know some folks have experienced it. But Costco creates this whole experience. You come in and you are browsing. There's things you never even had never even occurred to you that you wanted. So if you walk into Costco right now, it's spring in North America. There's patio furniture. There are dahlia bulbs. There are inflatable swimming pools. There's all kinds of stuff to just tickle your fancy and to get you interested. And then you walk back towards the food section and they're sampling things out. Now you suddenly have had this tropical trail mix. Like, who's ever had dried papaya before? But I just did, and I think I'm into it. And suddenly you're adding things to cart. I have created with my snackable offers more of a Costco ecosystem. This is like a fun thing to do. Come in, sample, and while you're here, there are other things that are of interest for you. And I'm going to get more into that on the 16th because I don't want to make this live stream too long. But really, you're creating this ecosystem where everything is interconnected, where folks can experiment and try, but it's not this hard sell. I'm going to send you 17 emails specifically about this thing, but it's all automated with countdown timers kind of funnel that happens behind the scenes. I love a good funnel. And like I said, I think I have 4 in my business right now that are still running and have been since 2022, but they're a different vibe. They're just kind of like, here's the thing, take it if you want it. Let me teach you a bunch of stuff along the way. It's not a hard sales pitch. It's like here's what it is. And they're not the thing that drives the most revenue in my business. The snackable offers that I put out and people buy, like they came to grab the $9 workbook thing and it's like, oh snap, this is what's on the upsell and it's 50% off. I've been hearing about this training. I'm going to grab it. And so it's sort of more of a whole ecosystem. And for me as a creator, it lets me let my freak flag fly as a creator who is a spaz and is always chasing the new and the interesting, and without being locked into, can you imagine if I were still talking about Pinterest 7 years later? No shade to those people who do, but like my brain doing that, it would have atrophied. Like, I don't think I just know for a fact I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have created the same thing over and over and iterated for 7 straight years. It's interesting because on the thread I posted yesterday, someone said, I have a signature offer and I hope I'm talking about it till I die. And I was just like, that was my emoji reaction. Like, good for you, but I could never. My brain, I could never. No, I cannot. It's just, I love to create. And I know that there's a lot of people who are like me who want to create the thing and not also create a massive thing. It doesn't have to be ginormous. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about what kinds of offers are snackable offers, but that is a live stream that's happening next week. So this is video number 1 or live stream number 1 in the series. Next Wednesday on April 8th at noon Eastern, I'm doing a second live stream in this series, and it's all about what digital products are selling now, because we live in the AI era where AI is replacing everything and blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah. And yet, as a creator, people are still buying snackable offers. I'm still buying snackable offers. But I have noticed a shift on what's selling and how. So I'll be talking more about that. So definitely join me for that one. And let me see if I can get my life together and share that link with you so you can. There's a kind of cool thing that I really like about going live on goodness, where is it? On YouTube, is when I create a live, you can click notify me and it will let you come back to it, basically. Like, you can click notify and it'll email you and tell you where to come back to. And like, hey, she's going live. So that's kind of a fun thing. But anyway, okay, I digress. So next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the what kinds of offers I see are still selling, and how, even if the signature course model is dead and ginormous courses that are all encompassing are no longer selling as well, what offers are selling and what can you sell as a follow-up to those? Because I think that's an important part of the element too, because you don't have to make your entire income off of $47 products. There are alternatives if that's what you want to do, if you want to go deeper with people. So we'll be talking about that. I just dropped the link to next week's live stream in the comments, so you can click on that, click notify. I'm also doing in 2 weeks. So on the 15th, I'm doing a full case study on CartStart. And when I tell you the reason and manner in which I created CartStart is unhinged. It's absolutely unhinged. I've never shared this publicly. It's only been like a thing that I've shared with biz friends. Like, can I tell you a secret? Look what I did, and it's working. And so I've never done a dedicated launch for CartStart, but as of today, it has 492 students. How did I do that? How is it selling? Why and how, I think, is really interesting of how I created it. So that's the live stream happening on the 15th, but you'll get an email from me about that. But all of this leads to, what if I want to build my own snackable offer ecosystem? What if I want that big Costco energy and I have a million things that I would love to create, but each one takes me forever. How do I shortcut this into creating something in a week that then goes on to sell for years to come? So we're going to talk about that in depth on my training on April 16th, which is how to get to 100 sales of every single one of your digital product offers. Why I came up with that number, it's specific. Literally, somebody told me this. And how I get there, how I build the ecosystem. I'll also be sharing a little bit more about the whole, how do I get there if I don't have 25,000 people on my email list? Because let me tell you, I never have. I have never had an email list of even 10K. And I did try running ads and they didn't go well for me. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that. So if you're not yet registered, the link is, I'm going to drop that in the comments, and it's also in the description. It's damaju.com/YT100. And that's to register to the live training, because you definitely want to catch that one. That one is not going to be on YouTube. So in order to get the replay, you'll want to register. It's okay if you don't make it live. Okay, so I wanted to keep this concise because it's like lunchtime on the East Coast, and I want to make sure that everybody had a chance to ask questions. How do you feel about the signature program model or the signature course model? And was that triggering for you, or were you like, that was never my thing? Have you put out snackable offers before? Any questions for me on some of the stuff we yapped about today? Were you triggered? I'm so curious. Diane says, when I go to the page, there's no sign up form. Whoops, did I do it wrong? I see the sign up form, but Diane, I will let you know. I will reach out to you. That's wild if there's no sign up form. I'll make sure I get that added to it. Okay. Any questions for me about signature program, or anything else we've kind of yapped about? Oh, Diane says you have to click a button, or Zoe's saying you have to click a button. Did that work for y'all? I'll fix it. Always interesting to hear live when things are just like funky. So yeah. Okay, no questions, all good. We will be live again in a week. And if you have questions, feel free to reply to one of my emails. It's literally me. I don't outsource my emails to anyone, and I never will. Claude co-work does not write and schedule and answer my emails. It will be your girl forever because email is my favorite thing. Zoe says, I'm wondering, I love the snackable offers idea. I'm wondering if paid live workshops are snackable in your eyes. Yeah, but I think there's a really specific method to do it too, but I consider them I consider them a snack, a whole snack, and something that I love to buy in particular. So we'll definitely be talking about that next Wednesday. Hope y'all can make it. Okay, I am going to go, something's wrong with my page. So, I'm going to go look at that so I can get Diane registered, and we're going to go from there. Zoe says I can see it, and maybe you already signed up and it's not showing. It could just be a browser thing, but I will put a backup version, like a button, like don't see the pop-up, don't see the form, click here, and we'll create a backup version, because you never know with browsers. Cynthia asks, could you say a couple sentences about ecosystem? Yeah, sure. So when I say an ecosystem, I have sort of 3 categories in my offers. They all speak to the same client, the same person, but they have different avenues. So on my Thrivecart offers talk about funnels, and specifically Thrivecart, the angle of Thrivecart. I have Airtable offers, which works for any online business provider, but it's really for the data automation interested or savvy creator, somebody who needs systems and doesn't have them and wants something that's really thoughtful and well done. And then I have my marketing automations ones, which talk about email marketing and other sort of different ways to generate more sales. All of those are relatively low ticket offers. I think only one of them is $4.97. The rest are like $197 or less, ranging from like $9 to $197, including Thrivecart templates, including whole courses, including tools, workshops, you name it. And so when I say an ecosystem, that means that they are sort of lead into each other. So I'm going to get a lot more into that on the 16th of how that is structured and what I do to accomplish that. But ideally, when you come to my website, because you've heard about my $9 Google Doc training, like I'm an online business owner, this is genius, I use Google Docs, great. But once you get that, it's kind of like with Costco getting you in the door. Well, maybe I do want that Monstera plant. And you know what? I could use a new mop. And I really like this tropical trail mix. And, I hate cranberries. Oh, this doesn't have cranberries. Oh, this has dried pineapple in it or whatever, right? So you sort of some of these offers sort of get you in the door. And then you find that there's this whole incredible wide blue ocean world of things in my offer ecosystem. So Diane says it was a Chrome issue. When I went to incognito, it worked. Okay, cool. We're all good. The tech is teching accurately. So, and Tori says, thank you, Tori. Shout out to you. Check out Dama's everything page to see her ecosystem, damaju.com/everything. So that's the tip of the iceberg, Tori. I can't wait to talk more about it the 16th, but I don't want to steal my own thunder and go too long with this live stream. Okay, amazing. If you have questions, I'll be live again next Wednesday. And I'll be hanging out on Threads, which is where I like to social because I don't have to post pictures and design things in Canva. So, okay. Hi, Diane. All right, then. I'm going to end this live stream here. Thanks so much for joining me live. It's always better when there's people to chat with and yap with. And thanks for joining me. All right. See you soon. Bye. Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't say, if you haven't yet signed up for the live training, damaju.com/YT100, or you can also point your phone at the little QR code in the upper right-hand corner. Hopefully that tech works. All right, y'all. Bye. How, Lord, do I end it? This is always the problem. Oh, Jesus. There we go.